Good evening, friends, followers and channel members. Welcome to our Saturday Night Live. I had planned to initially do this yesterday for a normal Friday Night Live, but the computer had other ideas and Windows decided to update, so that wasted about an hour. So here we are at 24 hours later again. Hopefully we'll be a little bit more successful tonight as we head out from Madrid to Lisbon for the last live stream for a week, as I go away next week for a holiday with the family, which should be nice. So our last live stream tonight, hopefully we'll have a good one, and we have got an added benefit of doing it tonight rather than yesterday. Tonight we've got ATC on board. We didn't have ATC yesterday, so a little bit more realistic tonight, as I think we've got Madrid ATC on. I also think last time I checked we got Lisbon ATC on as well, so that's really nice to see. Still donning our Easter livery, although it's night time, so you may not be able to see that quite as well. And just thinking about this as I was setting up, coming into Lisbon, we've done Lisbon several times, but I don't think I've ever done Lisbon at night before. So that's going to be something different. I also don't think I've had to navigate a taxiway in Madrid at night before either. So there's another challenge for us to get out of here. So, good evening to everyone who is on board. I hope you're all having a great Easter holiday weekend. Good evening, El Tooth Dark, Land O'Lakes, Barry, Samuelo, and Mustafa, Ben Thomas, and Jason R6 on Twitch. Good to have you as well. We're on Twitch as well as YouTube this evening. David Rainey, Wally, good afternoon, Wally. Hope you're well. Chucky Shrews, and Danny Rubel, hope you're having a good weekend. Not working too hard, I hope, Danny, this weekend. I know how hard you have to work, but hopefully having some time out. Oh, William, has ATC just gone offline? Oh, that's a shame. Never mind. Yeah, boss load of controls on, but I suppose it's Saturday night. Why not? Danny, taxiing at Madrid is not good. Taxiing Madrid at night is a nightmare. Well, if ATC have got us land, looks like doing their taxi ourselves, then aren't we? Just a very good evening to you. So the flight time tonight is only about 55, 56 minutes. But as I say, we've got to get ourselves set up, navigate the taxiways and things like that. Polka, this is the experimental version of the fly-by-wire. So we get to see a little bit of VNAV tonight. India Virtual Aviation, good evening to you as well. Right, should we go ahead and get on board? Okay, so the aircraft is in a turnaround state and the packs are already on, so we can go ahead and start loading our passengers. I am starting a little bit later than normal tonight, so it'd be nice if we could be out of here in the next half an hour or so. What is interesting is on the operational flight plan, what we've actually got is an old operational flight plan. It's 24 hours old. So the weather and the TAF on there are not to be believed. So we'll go ahead and check what the live METAR is doing. Unless the TAF actually went 24 hours in advance, it's probably not going to be honest. So just let me have a look what's happening in Lisbon. Oh, actually it did. Winds 340. Oh, well, in that case, we should have nice weather coming in. It's nice to know they did it for 24 hours in advance. Maybe they knew I was going to be delayed. So the weather here currently in Madrid, we've got a QNH of 1019. Cav OK, 21 degrees, so that's beautiful. And yeah, just having a quick look at what we've got. Oh, let me just turn that off for the moment. We'll just turn that off for the moment. Yeah, and we can see currently in Lisbon we've got winds 310 at 13, temperature 18, dew point 13. So we shouldn't have any mist or fog coming in. Looking at those dew points. So this is nice. Let me go ahead and select the fuel for tonight. So we're going to play it safe. We're going to take 5 tons of fuel for this evening. So let's go ahead and tell the ground crew what we'd like, and then, as I say, we'll go get the passengers on board. So 5 tons of fuel. Refueling is underway. Let's go ahead, just check that overhead again. Yeah, everything's set. Let's go ahead and get the passengers on board. Q self-loading cargo. Gabrielle, has Lisbon been sunny and beautiful today? Excellent. No breaks, everyone's having no ground services in the experimental. Ground services all depend on where your aircraft is parked. I don't think it's anything to do with which version of the fly-by-wire aircraft you're actually flying. So I also don't think that we have flown over Spain and Portugal since the last World Update at night. So it'll be interesting to see what the ground textures and things are looking like as well on an evening flight as we do that tonight. Right, so everything is all set up. We've got that current QNH 1019, that's all set. We'll just put the constraints on there. Our initial climb out, I think, today is 13,000 feet. High transition altitude here in Madrid. So let's go ahead and look at setting the box up. We'll check, first of all, the IRS. We've got 3 nav green. Aircraft status, LEAP engines, and a valid AirX cycle. So let's do our ACARS uplink. And let me just pull in the operational flight plan so you guys can see that. There we go. So the alternate is Lima Papa Papa Romeo. Where's that? That's Porto. Call sign tonight, Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec, cost index of 4, flight level 390. I'm going to leave the wind there as it is, and the tropo. Just as I say, this is a flight plan from yesterday. I have been very rushed today. I've not even had a chance to create another one with all the valid alternates and things like that. So the flight route is still valid. So there we go. William, have I ever heard of Virtual Easy? I have, yes. There was a couple. I'm not sure which is better, which if they're both still going or not. I have heard of them, but I am not part of them. So the flight plan has us departing out runway 36 left. That's a nice long runway. On the Charlie Charlie Sierra 5 Lima. There it is. Just wait for that to load in. And insert. Let's bring up the charts, check that route in a moment, and let's get the arrival in, which is going to be the ILS 03 on the Exona 8 Alpha. Oh, there it was, right at the top. And I believe that does come in via PESEX. Let's just check that. There it is. So, operational flight plan has 333 miles, we've got 331. Let's go through and check the coding, make sure that's all accurate. So, our departure, we've got... we just check this. Sierra Sierra Yankee. Is that right? Oh yeah, there it is. I'm hiding it. Yeah, Sierra Sierra Yankee, 2,400, then 39, 5,200. 12 is 5,400. No, it isn't. Ignore that one. That's not for us. That's on the different standard instrument departure. We then next have Avila at 12,000 longer. At 13,000 or above, and then the Charlie Charlie Sierra VOR at again 13,000 above. All of those look good, and then we've got the arrivals at the other end. We'll check that as we get on our way. Good morning, HD. Can you watch? Of course you can. Come on, pull up a chair. Ideally, the first officers. Rotoviv, good evening, mate. It's been a while. Hope you're well. Right, so happy with that. Let's just go back over here. Not too familiar with Madrid, so just pay particular attention to a couple of things. Get the Barajas VOR in there as well. Okay, our init B page. Where's our flight plan gone? So our zero fuel weight is, we're not very heavy tonight, I don't think. Zero fuel weight is 56.9. Proper standard C of G in. We have a trip wind of 2. Fuel planning. We've got 5 tons, did I say? Yeah, we've got 5 tons on board. Alain, good evening to you. Welcome. So there's the takeoff weight then at 61.7. Told you we weren't heavy tonight. 61.7. And let's go to our performance page. So let's bring up SimSmart. Danny asks HD, have you ever been lost in Madrid? If you haven't, fair play. As I just said, HD, before you came online, we've done Madrid before, but I've never done it at night, so could be interesting. Where are we? Madrid. Departing 36 left. Grab the METAR. And dry anti-ice is off. Takeoff weight 617. Let's be conservative. 619. Takeoff thrust forward flex config 1. Packs off. Now this should be quite a high. These should be some high numbers given the length of this runway. And in fact, I am just going to pop a slight intersection in here. 4013. Now that is the Zulu 4 intersection, just in case I get lost. And we have to take the intersection. So let's go ahead and calculate that. Can I use an intersection greater than the full runway length? Oh, that's interesting. That's not greater than the full runway length. The full runway length is 4179. Have we found a bug? Oh, I know why it's doing this. Right, okay. Use full runway length. Yeah, I bet I've got this stuck in an endless loop. Oh, and the support's on holiday for Easter. Right, okay. Let me just restart that. I know why that's happened, and I know how we can fix that. So, let's try that again. Madrid. 36 left. Grab the meta. What did I say it was? 61.9. Forward, flex, config 1, off. And calculate. There we go. So the reason for that little bug, I'll happily explain that, is because at the moment SimSmart only has data for runways that are up to 4,000 meters long. Anything above 4,000 meters long, it reverts to 4,000 meters long calculations, which is pretty long anyway. So that's the reason it kind of got stuck in that little loop there. And as you can see, we have got some rather high numbers. So we've got a flex of 66, and then the V speed's all the same again, as expected for a nice long runway, particularly when we are as light as we are tonight as well. So we'll go ahead and get those in. Transition altitude is 13,000 feet. Not yet got the correct thrust reduction, engine out, acceleration values, etc., engine out procedures, but these are 2985 and 4985. So noise abatement 1 procedure here, and engine out procedure is 2985 as well. There we go. Abigail, this is one of your favourite routes. You really like Lisbon. Lisbon's beautiful to fly into. Config 1 and a flex of 66. I expected that flex to be a bit higher actually, and then I remembered that the airport's a bit higher up, isn't it, compared to ISA sea level, so that would be why. Right, so that's all done, dusted and set. We've got about 20 passengers remaining. Let's do our departure brief. So, weather here in Madrid, it's a lovely evening, 4 nice long runways. We are light as a feather, almost, comparatively speaking. So no issues getting back here. Aircraft is an experimental version. We still don't have any terrain or weather information on the aircraft, but I do believe Microsoft are opening that side of the development kit up, aren't they? So I'm sure the FlyByWire team will be all over that once that comes out. No NOTAMs that I've had time to read, I'll be brutally honest, so hopefully everything's just perfect. And threats, let's talk about threats departing from Madrid. Well, the biggest threat is terrain, and the terrain is in the direction that we're going. If we just have a quick look at the standard instrument departure that we're taking, minimum safe altitude is 10,100 feet. So the fact is noise abatement 1 is quite good, because that will help us get up much quicker. So yeah, that's our biggest threat. We've also got a couple of speed restrictions in there as well. So what is nice is green dot is 209, so we can fly very, very close to green dot until we've passed this first waypoint. That's if we actually get up to green dot by that point. It's not that far away, is it? So I am just going to pre-select a speed of 209, so green dot speed for that. After passing 39, we can clean up. Let's talk about the taxi then. Let's see. So we are parked all the way down here at stand Tango 19. Eham, long time no see indeed. So good to have you on board again this evening. Hope you're well. Yeah, so we're parked at taxiway, gate Tango 19. We're going to push back facing north on India. I'm going to have to write this down. On India 9. So we'll taxi on India 9 and we shall join Mike. So then from Mike we will go all the way up, because they're currently landing on this runway at the moment, so I wouldn't imagine the ATC would have told you to taxi on Alpha. So we'll take Mike all the way up. So Mike all the way up, and then that meets... have we got a more in-depth chart for this part that I could do? Do you know? I don't know. I don't even know if there is. We've just got hotspots being shown. So this basically then we can take. We meet Juliet 2, and we will then take Mike 1-4. Just for clarification, we'll take Mike 1-4, and then we will take this taxiway here, which it's not even labelled that taxiway, is it? Let me just grab the other ground chart, see what that says. We're gonna have to plan this to perfection. Amsterdam is easier than this. So taxi routines. That would have been the better chart to use, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to double check. Mike. Yep, Mike. And then we're going to take Romeo 2, Romeo 1. So Romeo 2, Romeo 1. And then we can take Zulu 4. Takeoff performance data is valid, as we've actually got more runway than we've computed for, so that's alright. So hopefully we won't get lost en route. The departure is a nice on-nav departure. Autopilot couldn't help us out there. And from there we take off. We've got that speed restriction, we've checked the coding, so that's all good. And yeah, we'll clean up, can accelerate away from green dot, etc. after passing Mike Delta 039. There we go. So, emergency procedures, then standard Airbus emergency procedures. If we have an engine failure, it's non-standard here in Madrid, so at 3,000 feet we are going to make a left turn to the Rofix holding point. Inbound course is 151 and the whole consists of right turns. So let's just go ahead and pop that information here as well. Use the fixes page for that. There we go. What was that inbound course? 151. What's that? That's 331 reciprocal, isn't it? There we go. And if we just pop that into plan mode and zoom out, see where that is. Yeah, so that'd bring us back around quite neatly to bring us back in. Lovely. Right, I think all our passengers are now boarded. So jetway can be retracted. Marty, oh my goodness, that taxi chart. It's a good one, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Niels Eriksson, good evening to you. Right, where's my checklist? So, a couple of other things just to check before we do all that. That's nicely balanced, and say I set the aircraft up in a turnaround state, so we should all be good, but you never know. William, it's the Charlie Lima 5 Lima that we're doing. I was going to try and pronounce the VOR. I'm not going to. Right, so before start, checklist to the line. Cockpit preparation is complete. Our signs are on and auto. ADIRS 3 nav green. Fuel quantity is 5,000 kilograms. Set and balanced. FMGS is set and altimeter is 1019 at 1900 feet. Okay, I'm going to call the ground crew up Lock the flight deck door.
Cabin crew, we're about ready to push back, so if you can use our window allowed to cross check. Thank you.
Pre-plan the push. Always takes slightly longer to load, doesn't it, when you've got detailed airports? Love this pushback tool though. Right, where we're pushing back to, we need to make sure we push back to the right line there. So, go back, back, start the turn, and I reckon that should about do us.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
So if you're just joining us, good evening. Please do hit that like button. Really do appreciate everyone that hits that like button. Makes a massive difference to the channel. So thank you for that. Butter001, hello from Germany. Good to have you on board this evening. Looking forward to coming in into Lisbon for a nighttime approach. I've never departed Madrid at night. I've never landed at Lisbon at night. So something new on both accounts. I'm now just hoping that I put the Lisbon scenery in before we loaded the sim. Guess we'll find out when we get there. Shivers85, thank you for subscribing.
Captain speaking. My name is Gavin, and I would like to welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft. We expect a good flight with you today with no weather problems showing in front of us, so we should be pushing back within the next few minutes or so. For now, the ground crew will now finish loading the last parking of the aircraft, so if you can get yourself seated and secured, then we can make sure we can depart on time. The cabin crew will shortly be providing their safety demonstration video, so it would be appreciated if you could give them your full attention. A special welcome on board to our Easyjet sim pilot members, and if you wish to inquire about the other member, please contact a member of the cabin crew. All our Easyjet sim pilot members are of course entitled to free drinks throughout the flight. Thanks very much, and we'll give you an update once we are airborne.
Joe the Beast on Twitch, thank you so much for following. Brian, good evening. Brian, good evening. And HD Field of Practice Autoline coming on just for validation purposes. Right, let's make that call on Unicom. We're on Unicom, aren't we? Yes. And I'm going to double check there's no ATC. That is correct.
Please release parking brake.
Madrid Traffic Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec, pushing back from stand Tango 19 facing north on India 9.
Release parking brake.
Yeah, I wish they'd only say that please release parking brake once. So there's our taxi clearance. Acupressure is in the green. Set that transponder to auto. Before start checklist, below the line, windows and doors are closed and armed, beacon light is on, mobile phone is on silent, parking brake is clearly set, as we've been reminded several times by the ground crew. Okay, let's push back.
Parking brakes are released. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence. It will start in the sequence.
Okay, engine mode selector to ignition and starting engine 1. Horatio, I think he says it about 8 times and then he kind of just gives up. Thank goodness. Flight times 55 minutes, taxi times 1 hour and 3. William, this is GTX 1660. Had to think then. PLG, you think night flights rule? Do you like night flights? It's a debatable topic, isn't it? Night or day? I'll just start adjusting my eyes slowly. HD would have his sunglasses on by this point, I'm certain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
Madrid traffic, Alpine 875 taxi via link to Mike Zulu Romeo, holding Zulu 4 short 36 left.
Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children.
Somehow,
Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Parking brakes set. Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect. Roger. Good engine start. Clear to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
That was the best taxi clearance.
For the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
That was the best taxi clearance I've heard in a while, whoever that was. Pushback now taxiing somehow to runway 36 left. Right, engine number 2 is stabilised. Engine mode selector 2. Why was that not even at ignition there? Do you know, it does this sometimes. Well, both the engines have started, so I'm happy. APU bleed can come off. APU master can come off. We'll close those down. And let's... I need a little bit of lighting. Let's arm the spoilers. Rudder 0, flaps 1, and set our trim. And the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Ecom status is checked. Pitch trims 24.8. Rudder is 0. Flight control check. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudder. Full right. Rudder. Full left. And neutral. Just checking our gross weight there at 61.8. That's why I always do takeoff performance calculations, usually a couple of hundred kilograms higher than what it estimates it at. Having said that, with this taxi, we should burn it off. Right, let's see if we can find our way to the runway, shall we? Madrid traffic, Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec, taxiing now via India 9 Mike 14 Romeo 2 Romeo 1 to holding point Zulu 4 for runway 36 left, hopefully.
And breathe.
Do you know what? Because I'm going to concentrate on where we're going, I'm getting all this done while I'm stationary. Right. Here we go. Danny, you've done it again. You pushed back without starting the APU. You've lost power, of course you have. The ground power unit. Its extension cord isn't that long. Okay, so I've got my taxi charts up on the second chart on the second page. Let's see how we get on. So we need to take, I think we're taking the first right as we're taxiing down here, which is gate 6, I think. 7xvis, the mods. There's a video on the channel explaining all the mods that I have. Only about 10 of them which I use in the sim, plus any scenery. Right, so straight across here, don't go left. Just check we're not getting anybody's way. Oh, that blooming taxi bug. That's caught me out a few times. Okay, so quick peds check. No change to our performance.
Company traffic, Alpine 89 Papa Whiskey is following the company traffic ahead. All road traffic.
Engine out procedure is non-standard, 3,000 feet, left turn to the Rofix holding point. Departure is the Charlie Charlie Sierra 5 Lima, and initial climb is 13,000. Before takeoff checklist. Flight controls are checked, departure briefing is completed. Flap setting config 1. FMA takeoff data 150 blue, 150 magenta, climbing up blue, 152, 13,000 blue, flex 66. Transponder is set, ECAM memo, takeoff, no blue, EFB is stowed. Speaking of pushing back and plunging the aircraft into darkness, or pulling onto the stand and shutting the aircraft down without having started the APU, I'd be curious to know, has HD ever done it? Or at least flown with someone who's done it, perhaps. He'll not tell us. But if the answer is yes, you're going to make so many of us feel better about ourselves. Oh, there you go. Never. So I think this is Dark Fury I'm following. I'm just gonna follow him. Hope he takes the right route. Just keep an eye on that taxi speed. We're very light tonight, so we're gaining speed quite easily.
I have no idea where I'm going.
Just follow the leader.
Where is the leader?
Right, so... Oh, wow, where's Dark?
Just follow the Easyjet aircraft in front.
Right, well...
There's about 5 of them, I don't know. Whoever's following me, I'm so sorry.
Well, this is going to be even funnier because... Dark's
You're all sacked.
Dark's just taken a different route to the one I was going to take, so I'm now...
You can see a runway, I'm going towards it.
I'm splitting up the herd. The route we'd briefed was this one. Right, so we're still on mic. That's what I wanted. Still on mic. And I need to count 1, 2, 3. It's the 4th right. That's number 1.
Madrid traffic, Alpine 875, line up Roy 365.
That's 2. It's when he said he was following the Easyjet and 2 Easyjets just went 2 separate ways. Felt really bad. We could use the charts on the EFB, couldn't we? Because it's got the aircraft on them. Isn't that cheating? When you guys get that in real life, I'll do it. Mike Zulu. This is Mike Zulu. That's Romeo. There we go. This is the right we want.
Madrid traffic, Alpine 875, runway 36 left, departing via the Charlie Sierra 5 departure. At least someone's on the runway.
Who's just cut in front of me? Where's Nick?
Madrid traffic, Alpine 89, Papa Whiskey is on the runway and is lining up behind departing company traffic for Madrid traffic.
He's got in front of me. Oh, I so went the wrong way. Well, we didn't. We went the way that we briefed. That's the main thing. Loving that aircraft over there. Is that a British Airways, I think?
Unlucky.
Madrid traffic Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec is now holding short at Zulu 4 runway 36 left, awaiting the departing aircraft in front.
With a couple minutes separation.
Wilco. William, yeah, we've been overtaken by the guy that didn't know where he was going. I reckon I've been swindled. He knew exactly where he was going. He's done this before. Still, provides entertainment, doesn't it? We're all now watching Dark Fury's beautiful takeoff. Flyby driving, flew back from Florida in '97. Pilots went to the wrong plane, didn't fill us with confidence, couldn't find the plane. How are they going to find the way back to Britain? Yeah, what we could have done.
Belfast traffic, Easyjet Express 3676, pushing back at stand 338.
Madrid traffic, Alpine 59 Papa Whiskey, correction 89 Papa Whiskey is passing runway 36 left. Towards Portugal. There you go. For Madrid traffic.
Towards Portugal. Right, this is the chart, and I'm guessing, I don't know how long it takes to load, but we should appear just there. That's where we were. Madrid traffic Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec lining up behind the departing company traffic on runway 36. Line up and wait behind. Before takeoff, checklist below the line. Cabin is secured. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS, TARA, packs off. Anti-ice off. I did turn my tax light off. Yeah, you tend to turn it off if you're not moving.
Madrid traffic, Alpine 89 Papa Whiskey airborne 3,000 feet.
Oh, is there actually something that you press to appear on the chart? Which arrow would that be? I don't use it, which is why I'm not familiar with it. If anyone can explain which what it is we're meant to press to get that to display, that'd be quite neat, particularly in an airport like this, which you're unfamiliar with. So now just waiting a couple of minutes for separation. UK Sim Pilot on Twitch says it doesn't show on a lot of the taxi charts. Oh, okay, it certainly does on the arrival charts, the star charts. I've seen it on there before. Someone's got an open mic.
Cabin crew, if you could take your seats for takeoff, please.
William, you promise you do know what you're doing. You've just the Athens flying event. Yeah, I bet that was busy. Great, but busy. Oh well, HD, looks like we can't use the taxi charts then. I'll turn that off. Saves on performance and frame rates anyway. Oh, Randall says the airport chart works. Okay, fair enough. Right, that's 2 minutes for separation. Let's go. Madrid traffic Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec departing runway 36 left on the Charlie Charlie Sierra 5 Lima departure. Takeoff. Set takeoff thrust. Man flex. SRS. Is there no ILS for this runway? I guess it's not one that's used for landing. Checked.
Station calling, I'm ready.
V1, rotate. Nav.
Manifest traffic, Easyjet Express 6676, taxi to holding point Zulu 2 for runway 36 left via Delta India, Sierra, Mike and Romeo 6.
Autopilot 1 engaged.
Lima Victor Charlie Alpha Mike, check radio.
Set climb thrust.
Alfa Mai, el sur 4697, le copia 5, barra 5 ya.
Didn't feel like working hard tonight, so autopilot was on HD style. So clean up, get to green dot, and then it's after here, isn't it? 239 that we can start to clean up.
Lima Victor Charlie Mike,
039.
para tránsito Madrid, iniciando el retroceso.
No air traffic control around, so let's continue our climb. Flight level 200. Open climb, flight level 200 blue. Barry, I don't think wake turbulence is modelled as far as I'm aware. Eham, you can disarm the spoilers now. After passing airspeed, we'll clear up. So, flap 0 and disarm the spoilers. Release the cabin crew. And we're just holding green dot until we pass this next waypoint. After which we can then accelerate away.
Sur 4697, taxi vaya Zulu Bravo 3, runway 36, hold short.
So there we go, let's pop that into managed speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Night lighting there actually looks really good, doesn't it? I like that. Matt, do I time anything on the centre part? Do you mean this one here? So that's the time when you start the pushback. So we pushed back 22 minutes ago and we started the takeoff roll 4.5 minutes ago. I'll do what is S speed. So S speed is the slowest speed that you can fly at flaps 1. Do you know what? I'm not even sure if that's the dictionary definition of that. HD can clarify. Evening clouds, good evening. Barry, your star wants you exactly 2,960 feet. How do you do that? Well, I guess that's where managed descent would come in. Because you can't set it. Set it to 2,900. If it's working.
Traffic, better set 3672, taxi holding point, Zulu 2 for runway 36 left via Sierra, Mike and Romeo 6.
Thank you.
Tránsito Madrid, Lima Víctor Charlie Alfa Mike, en rodaje para pista 36 izquierda.
Barry Barton, is that a Greek island you're landing at, just out of interest? I've got a sneaky suspicion where you're going, because I seem to recall a value similar to that. Might be wrong. Anders, where do I find the engine out procedures for Madrid? If you're on our Discord server in the pilot's briefing room, there's a full document for all of them. William, right, you're doing the IMBOM 8 Alpha arrival. I'm on the Exona 8 Alpha arrival. So, not a long flight, this one. We're going to need to go and check some coding in a minute. So, if I... oh, I don't want to close it down. So, in this view, we can monitor what we're doing. We're going to continue our climb now up to our cruising altitude of flight level 390. Let's just go ahead and set that. There we go. First climb, we'll climb 390 blue. So let's go and check all of these constraints. So our first constraint is at Exona. We need to be below flight level 230, so let's go ahead and pop that in. Actually, if we're going to be specific on that, it's minus 230, isn't it? So below flight level 230. And then we've got add SAD. ADSAD above 4,000 feet. In fact, everything here it says above 4,000 feet. So let's work backwards. Let's have a quick look at PESEX. 4,000 feet at PESEX is the goal, because that's where we should capture the ILS. So let's just work backwards there. So we need to be 4,000 feet exactly there. And speed 180 knots. Yeah, max speed there. And we can code this in just looking back here. So we've got about 9 miles there, so we can expect to lose, let's call it a couple of thousand. Although with that speed restriction at 200 knots, then we can probably go lose 3,000 feet there quite comfortably. So we can probably set 7,000 at 421. Pop 8,000 in at Gogdigi. Can't say that. Speed restriction as well, then of 220 knots. And then if we put another hard-coded one in at ADSAD. How many miles have we got there? Call that 10 miles or so. So yeah, add another couple of thousand feet to that. So for 10,000 feet at ADSAD, that should see us right. So we'll be green dot 10,000 feet at ADSAD. Slowing down as we get down to 4,000 feet at PESEX. And if I now just scroll through, it looks like there isn't any of those constraints that will fail to meet. So all of that looks good, nice and set up for the arrival. And we should be at our top of the climb in around 60 miles, and there's our top of descent. So not very long at all in the air this evening. So just whilst I was setting that up, I wasn't paying too much attention to the chat. Barry, no, you're heading to the Ukraine. Nice, not very realistic, but you wanted to complete the country's challenge from Volanta. Oh, fair enough, Barry. Fair play to you. I hope you have a good flight. Glenn Swigert, thank you. Welcome to the First Officers Club, Glenn. Really do appreciate your support of the channel. Very, very kind of you. And if you are on Discord, then Glenn, make sure you get yourself in the members lounge on our Discord server. Thank you so much. PLG, is a short flight flown at 39,000 feet in real life? If at all possible, believe it or not, it's far more fuel efficient to fly up and spend sort of 60-70 miles at flight level 390 than just cruise at like 30,000 feet for the entire time. Ewald, you've flown for a couple of hours today on Twitch. You're going to call it a day. Hope you're having a nice holiday weekend. Ludovic, have I ever wanted to be a pilot? What do you think? Danny, the real flight did fly over 310 in real life. Fair enough. Was that today? Should have mentioned as well, this is a real life flight, isn't it? You know it's a real life flight if I'm not using the call sign 34 Alpha Mike. If I'm using something daft like 43 Yankee Quebec, that's a real flight. HD, you've done less than 5 minutes of flight level 390. You are... It does sound daft, that, doesn't it? Dark here at flight level 35. I'm paying for the fuel bill. Hey, you're going to get there before me. Drinks are on you. So Juliana, no, and Avagand only privately and occasionally. HD, that's a horrible call sign. It is, but not as bad. What was the one we had the other day? It was a top Swiss one as well. It had like 7 or 8 syllables. It was crazy. I think Quebecs should be banned. So Swales, real ops just means that we're flying the flight as realistically as the simulator would allow, as close to real life procedures as the simulator would allow us to. So I'm just doing a quick calculation to see where I would normally start this this top of descent. So probably, looking at the wind as well, about 95 miles away from Adsad. So let's check. Oh, look at that. Well, one of us is right. That is amazing. That is the first time I've ever seen it match up quite as closely as that. Now, who's that in front of us who I'm getting... Well, I was going to say I'm getting close to. He's 30 odd miles away. Can we see his strobe lights anywhere? Not yet. But yeah, so that's my own calculation working out where I'd begin my top of descent without the help of VNAV. And to get to 10,000 feet at Adsad. And yeah, that is absolutely spot on. Right, we're a couple of thousand feet from our top of descent, which means we'll have 80 miles to go before that top of descent, which is perfect time to do our arrival briefing. So I'm just going to go ahead and sort that out, and I will be back with you in a second.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Okay, so back with you. We're now at our cruising altitude. Just sent off a quick weather request, so we're just going to go and see what's happening in Lisbon at the moment. So the winds are 300 at 12, so bit of a crosswind coming up. Cav OK, 16 degrees, QNH 1021. Let's go ahead and just quickly enter all that information in. Terry says, have a great holiday, you're off to your friends for a beer or three. Thanks Terry, I shall see you in a week's time. Temperature 16, that wind 300 at 12, transition altitudes 4,000 feet, VAP 129, and 530, going to be a Cat 1 approach this evening. There we go. Barry, you're off to Abidjan tomorrow. Wow. Not for a holiday though. Barbell, good day from down under. Good morning. Good Easter morning. Of course it's Easter now where you are if you celebrate that. Yeah. Amazing. Good to have you on board. HDR, no Autoland. Yeah, the weather's not bad enough. Are we hoping it would do it because of the crosswind tonight? Was that it? Right, let's talk about the arrival. How we're going to do this. So we've gone in. We've already entered and made sure that the star has got all the constraints coded in correctly. We know we're going to be below flight level 230 at Exona. We're aiming 10,000 feet at Assad, a green dot as we leave there. Then generally getting all the way down to 4,000 feet at Pessex. We're going to pull flaps 1 after we've left 421, and then flaps 2 will come in as we pick up the glide slope. Really, we're going to be as speed as 180 knots as well as we leave as we get flaps 1 out and leave 421. Flaps 2 to meet the glide slope, and then hopefully bring her in for a nice little crosswind landing. On landing then, we will vacate at Hotel 4, which is the norm here, and then we'll taxi back via Uniform, Quebec, Mike and Zulu to the Terminal 2. Missed approach is nice and straightforward here as well. It's continued straight out on runway heading, fly to altitude, flight level 70. Transition altitude here is 4,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude as we're coming in is 3,000 feet. Barry, notice for work you travel to Western Africa a lot. That sounds exciting. Nonka, hello from Sweden. Good evening to you. Hope you're well. So we've just pressed past Charlie Sierra. Let's just do a quick fuel check. So what did we take? We took about, so we should have 700 kilograms extra tonight. So we should have 3.4 tons. Aha, spot on. RY191, the A320 is doing remarkably well at the moment. So, just so we can monitor VNAV, however, as it's still in its infancy, but getting better all the time, I am just going to put in ADSAD on this page here. So I can monitor that, and I don't want to be flight level 100 at this waypoint. Wally, I've got 2 aircraft inbound in front of me. Yeah, I know. Guess where they took off from. Peter James, hi mate, how you doing? Thanks for coming on board this evening. Good to see you as well. Round 191, you've had major problems stuttering after about an hour and 45 minutes. That's interesting. How long have we been streaming for? So we've been live for an hour 18, but this is probably one of the shorter streams we've done recently. Just squeezing a last one in before a week's holiday. Oh, who's singing? There's a passenger in the cabin. There's always one. Gets the guitar out. Tries to serenade the cabin crew. Mustafa, any idea why the plane struggles to reach cruise altitude after around 30,000 feet? Only thing I can suggest really is check your progress page. I don't know how heavy you might be, how much fuel you're carrying, what kind of flights you're doing, but see what the maximum cruising altitude is. So we're going to head down around 40 miles or so. PLG, is this difficult approach and landing airport in real life close to the ocean? So HD says it can be very windy with wind shear. Not sure how well that's simulated in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. To be fair to Microsoft Flight Simulator, the weather and the winds have sometimes been absolutely spot on. I've forgotten where it was. I was messing around offline. It might have been Madeira, you know, and it said that the wind shear was it was possible, and yeah, we were coming in, and just before the threshold, or almost just over the threshold, there was a, I don't think it was wind shear, but there was a gust, and you felt the plane just drop a little bit. So I thought, that was quite realistic. Oh yeah, HD says check if the gear's still out. that will impede your ability to climb. Danny, I am 100% not certain. I don't know if they are simulated or not. Andrew, you suffered from wind shear on approach a few days ago, but you blamed the in-flight beans for that. Just looking for that traffic in front of us. Where's that gone? We're going to head down in a minute. One thing I haven't checked, and I always normally do this, and that's just to make sure all the waypoints are fine, but let's just quickly scroll through, see what that arrival looks like. Yeah, spot on. Okay guys, time to start heading down, I think. So we're now through saddle, fly over 100 blue. William, have you seen Easy 213? Had to divert to Faro today due to the captain having dislocated his shoulder mid-flight. What the hell was he reaching around for? I mean, let's be honest. There's not that much interesting back there, is there? Did he have his sandwiches in his bag? I bet he had his sandwiches back there, and he thought, oh, I'll just grab those, and click, oh, out pops the shoulder. Oh, you shouldn't laugh. That's awful. But wow, how do you announce that over the PA? Terribly sorry, passengers. We're going to have to divert because the captain's just dislocated his shoulder. Has that been on the news, William, or something? Where have you read that? Dark Fury, I wasn't going to say that. HD says, yeah, that is probably exactly what happened. We'll probably never know, but that's where my money is. Right, let's keep monitoring this profile. Simple takeoffs, is VSync on in my simulator? No, it's not. No. Barry, why would a diversion make a difference? Maybe he was just in pain and then he just needed to get down. HD says, I will. Yeah, okay. Where was he flying to? That's actually a good question. Where was he meant to be flying to? Because if he was going to somewhere like Madeira that was a captain's only landing, then the first officer wouldn't be able to land there. So, easiest things to do is dump it on a nice, easy approach. Hence, Faro. Trevor Robert, happy Easter to you as well from Kenya. Oh, great to have you on board with us this evening. HD, if that's someone you work with, he's going to get so much ribbing. Denzera, any idea with terrain and building issue? Even with 400 LOD, it seems like a bomb's gone off. I don't have my LOD set that high. In fact, I couldn't even tell you what it is without going back and checking. All I know is this all appears to be working at the minute. Touch wood. Oh, hello. So, a PM private message from, I don't even recognise that call sign, Foxtrot Papa 004, but he does wish us all a happy Easter, not just me but to all the viewers as well. Thank you so much. Peter James, we need a channel member doctor on board, didn't we? Yeah, sort that out. Ben Thomas says, wow, it's trying to keep up with the glide, never used to do that. No, it's gotten really, really good of late. It's fantastic. Denzel, I'm sure someone on Discord better than me with more technical knowledge will be able to help you on there. Danny, now, is that in the QRH dislocated shoulder checklist? We have to pop it back in, don't you? But maybe not while you're in control of a 70-ton aircraft. So according to the flight plan and the FMGC, all the constraints still look to be they still all look to be manageable. William, no I didn't. Feel free to post that on the Discord after, I'll check that out. If you're just coming on board, we should be on the ground in around a little under half an hour. Headed down now for our approach into Lisbon. Please do hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please also consider subscribing and turn on that notifications bell as well. Anthony, it was a flight from Luton to Agadir. I had not read. Do you know, I've not been on Aviation Hell for a while. I normally skip everything unless it's an Airbus. I would imagine the captain was probably just in too much pain to carry on and was just like, I need help. And if there's no one, as you say, that's able to help on board, then yeah, get her down, keep it safe. Right, let me just check how we're doing. 46 miles to run to our first planned constraint, or where I want to be, and we're at 21,000 feet. I'd say that's pretty darn good. Wally, happy Easter to you as well. Oh god, that's just reminded me. I have to do an egg hunt when I finish this. There's no kids listening, is there? I should probably have given a spoiler warning before I said that. Carl, will be flying the 737 when it comes out? Not decided yet, Carl. It's not my cup of tea. Now what is interesting is these speed constraints here. I mean, they slow you down. Sorry, not there. Here. They slow you down very, very early, don't they? Very early indeed, actually. See, HD's just cleared that up. Basically, if your pilot's there's a pilot incapacitated, then it's a mayday call, single pilot operations. Excuse me. Where's the land gone? This has happened to me once before, and the Earth has just disappeared. Now I'm hoping it will come back. I'm really hoping it will come back. Please come back. There it is. I've heard all sorts of reports of when that happens, if you're on the ground. If you're on the ground and that happens, your aircraft literally just falls through to the centre of the Earth. The HD now is an auto land. Yeah. Do you know, I was so tempted to pull speed. Just to start slowing us down, but you know what, I'm not going to. I'm going to see what happens here. We should have plenty of time to slow down and get down with this approach. It's quite a lengthy track in. So let's see if it starts to hit these constraints. The first one is, as said, we've got 10,000 feet, which it looks to be in quite nicely. 10,000 feet and 220 knots. Well, it happened to you yesterday. You were taxiing Munich and you fell through the Earth on VATSIM. How does the radio call after that go? Yeah. Lufthansa 456. Please contact Australian approach on... Don't know if we can actually see Lisbon at all. Oh, it could be there. That might be it. So, do you know what? Just the speed that I'm keeping an eye on at the moment, but this looks like it's going to hit that constraint perhaps a little early, maybe a little early, and then start to slow us back down to that speed constraint. That would be wonderful. HD, no, quite right, we don't want to level off at 10,000 feet. If anything, we want to get all the way down to 4,000 feet. So, let's go ahead, pop that into managed descent, 4,000 feet. There we go, there's our... flight level 100 magenta. We're going to put her into... in fact, no, we're not. We're going to pull standard for the time being, because until we start headed down, of course, we're not going down to an altitude at the moment, are we? Thanks to the constraints. So, alt constraint. I'm going to just see how this rolls back, speed-wise. And then, of course...
Lisbon traffic, 875, now established on the localizer 03925.
I am going to activate the approach phase in a moment, so I am going to pull speed. That's not bad at all. Right. Approach checklist.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Arrival brief is complete. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 530. Set. Engine mode selector is normal. EFB stowed. Thrust idle descent. Flight 080. Magenta. See how well it does this next bit. So it would be targeting 220 knots by this point. We're just a little high, so throw some speed brakes out. I probably don't need it for the amount of track mileage we've got left to run. What we've got 33 miles left to run, so and we're already at about 225 knots, something like that. Yeah, I can probably put those away. But again, I'll keep an eye on that. Let's get the cabin in HD format, shall we? Speed out constraint. Tell you what, this is doing an absolutely banging job, isn't it? There's that glide slope.
Lisbon traffic Alpine 875, now on the final 11 mile runway 03.
So I'm just going to activate the approach phase whilst we're level here. That should start to slow us down. Speed, descent, 070 magenta. HD, that may have been a constraint that I popped in just to help guide the aircraft. What I have found with this is if you don't always code it in yourself, because all the constraints, instead of it being if it sees a constraint as being plus 4,000, then it doesn't continue to go down in using VNav. Because it's happy, it just sees it's a computer, isn't it? Computer says yes, you're above 4,000 feet. It doesn't realise actually I want to get down to 4,000 feet. So I've kind of programmed that in myself a little bit. Right, we need to start configuring, looking at this. So flaps 1, speed's checked. Flaps 1. And speed. Got visual now with that airport. Lock star. We might as well now. It's done its job, hasn't it? So let's pull thrust idle, open descent. We've got aircraft in front of us, so I'm going to wind that back 180. Now we're headed to 4,000 feet. Let's set local pressure. Oh, wrong one. I don't want QFE. It's got glide slope star. Missed approach altitude is 7,000. Flaps 2, speeds checked. Flaps 2. Lisbon traffic, Alpine 43 Yankee, Quebec is established runway 03 at 14 miles, 180 knots. What we're dropping down at 1,800 feet per minute. We'll catch that glide slope, no problem with that.
Papa Whiskey is 8 mile final, remain 03, we are reducing to minimum approach for Lisbon traffic.
Gear down. Need a bit more drag to catch up with that glide slope. I should probably have intervened a little sooner. VNAV did its job, and HD, I think you said before, you wouldn't fly in managed descent all the way down to capture the glide slope, would you? You never would. It does its job 100 miles out from the airfield, but when closing in, you'd start to pull open descent and select your speed manually. I guess I just wanted to try and see how well it was going to adhere to any of the constraints that that were programmed in. But there we are, we're 9 miles, we're nicely established now.
Lisbon traffic, Alpine 875 vacated runway.
Thank you very much. Alpine 89 Papa Whiskey is landing runway 03, 3 mile final for Lisbon traffic.
And that's a fair shout as well. The Q&H, which was what was it, 1021, so it's radio altimeter is alive. So yeah, that was quite a big jump obviously from standard, which is why when you're going down in managed descent and you're going down bit by bit to sort of, what was it, we had flight level 100 and flight level 70, going down like that. When do you pull local Q&H? Because the transition altitude is 4,000 feet, so it's not until you're going down to 4,000 feet that you'd normally want to pull the put local Q&H in. Right, 5 miles. Let's start getting configured. So landing gear's already down for the above glide slope capture. Arm the spoilers. Let's pop it into managed speed. Just in case the traffic's in the way, the go around is toga, go around flaps, positive rate, gear up, FMAs, and thrust reduction will be about 1,300 feet. Landing checklist, cabin secured, auto thrust speed, going altitude 7,000, ECAM memo, landing no blue.
1,000.
Lisbon traffic, Alpine 43 Yankee Quebec, runway 03, 2 mile final.
I'm trying to find a taxiway.
Okay, that doesn't fill me with confidence.
There we go. Alpine 89 publicity vacated 03. Caution 11 knot crosswind on final.
I have control.
500.
Approach stable.
400. 400. 400.
Keeps hitting a terminal, a building down
100
below.
above.
Feel that crosswind.
300. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
And spoilers deployed, reverse screen. What the heck's happened to the runway? Is it due to be repaired? "70 knots, reverses off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care.
Lisbon traffic runway 03 is vacated.
Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
Well, that looks interesting, doesn't it? See if we can find Terminal 2. So this is Uniform Taxiway. And you know, I bet I haven't got... But I didn't put Lisbon in the community folder, or did I? Did I? I honestly can't remember. That's the old runway, isn't it? Which is now Taxiway Tango. So we'll now take the next taxiway after that, which is Quebec. And that's down here. Oh, Barry! Oh, thank you, Barry, so much for your $9.99 donation. Oh, that's very kind of you. Have a beer on you during your holiday. Barry, I will. Thank you so much for that. That's really, really appreciated. It's our last stream for a week as I go away on for a week with the family. Well, that approach looked beautiful until we actually got to the airport itself. Do you know, when we've parked up, oh no, I can't have the Lisbon airport in here, can I? Because this looks dire. This is awful. Elliot, you just got SimSmart and it's great. Really glad you're enjoying that. Even so, even if we hadn't got the Lisbon airport scenery in here prior to the flight, those runway graphics were appalling. take a right here. Then a left on Zulu 1. You know, we're going to have to come back. We're definitely going to have to come back to this airport so I can show you the gorgeous scenery. I've forgotten who's done it. Is it Orbex? Can't recall who's done it, but it looks amazing. We're going to have to fly into Lisbon again and do it properly with some proper scenery. And not letting VNAV bring us in all the way. Do you know what? Let's just roll forward, shall we? There we go. Oh, I thought we had crashed the desktop there. We hadn't. Not even sure if we're in a parking spot. Oh, apparently we are, because we've got external power available. So that's something, I guess. Right, have I got the APU running? We do. Let's just chuck the bleed on and shut down engine 1 and engine 2. Fuel pumps can come off. Connect the external power. They wouldn't have done that until I turned the beacon lights off, actually, but anyway. Squawking 2000. Beautiful. MK Studios, thank you very much, Dark. That's who's done this. And it's awesome scenery. Not what you're looking at tonight. It's this is default, because I've forgotten to load it. Have I not got it in? I thought I had put it in, you know. Oh! Ah! That would be why. Okay, so right company, wrong airport. Oh, we're gonna... no words. Dr. Magic looks like we've parked at a cheap motel. William, thank you so much for your 449 super chat, saying as well, enjoy the holiday, Gavin. William, I will. Thank you so much, both of you and Barry, for that. For your kind donations as we finish quite a marathon of streams this week. We didn't have one last night, but I think we've had one almost every day to make up for the fact there aren't going to be any next week while I'm away. So a huge thanks to everyone. I should have turned the taxi light off as well, don't forget. There we go. So yeah, we will come back to MK Studios as Lisbon at some point, because well, this just doesn't do it justice. But it's been great fun. We tested out just how far VNAV we could push VNAV. I think that top of descent marker, I think, now looks really accurate. But then as we're getting closer to the airport, then yeah, obviously we can't really leave it in managed speed and managed descent all the way down, because it just left us a little bit too high. But you wouldn't do that in the real world anyway, as HD has said. He'd never ever do that in the real world and get that close in, because otherwise you're gonna have to resolve a situation a bit like we did tonight as well. Dark Fury! Oh, thank you so much, Dark, for your £5 donation as well at the end of our stream this evening. Very, very kind of you, much appreciated. I will be around on the Discord server while I'm away. Just sometimes I'm going to need some. I'm going to need the flight, a bit of a link to Flight Sim. I am going to miss it. I'm going to miss it all. So yeah, I will be around on Discord. We'll obviously just not have any live streams for the next week or so. So thank you so much if you flew alongside us tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you had some nice scenery when you landed. And for those of you who have just donated, thank you so much for your kind contribution to the channel. And of course to HD, as always, for his expertise. And finally to the Easyjet Sim Pilot channel members, who, as always, thank you so much for the support you guys give us in helping to keep the channel going. Thank you so much for that. I'm off now for a week, as I've said. I will look forward, though, to keeping up to date with everything that's going on our Discord server. So I look forward to speaking to you over the next week on there. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you're having a great Easter weekend. And hope you're having a great Easter weekend. And whatever you're doing, hope you don't eat too much chocolate tomorrow. Have a great time, everyone. Good night.